Hello, I'm moving house, and also, right now, I'm wearing Garfield slippers. Because I've been moving house, I've had to move everything that I've ever had into boxes. And it started out with me moving all my books, and it made me realize that I've never shown you my books. Like, I might have shown you one or two on stream or something, but I've never shown you all of them. And I'm not going to show you all of them now, but I'm going to show you a few that I think would be really sort of interesting to you, especially one. There is one that's going to blow your mind. So firstly, we start with these. This is my favorite author. It's a man called Jon Ronson. He's written a ton of books. You've probably heard of this one, which is called The Psychopath Test. I own all of them. Some of them are still on my bookshelf, but my favorite is this book. It's called Them: Adventures with Extremists. So Jon Ronson he's a wry journalist. He's like Louis Theroux. So he gets himself into sheer chaos and then writes about it, and it's always hilarious. So in this one, pardon me, he goes to see some extremists. So there's the KKK, the original sect of the KKK, which has now got a new leader who's trying to make them more politically correct. So he goes, you can't wear the hoods anymore. Can we calm down the racial slurs, please? And also, only cross burnings on special occasions. All the like racists there are like, oh, he's ruining it. He's ruining this experience for us. So that's good. There's also Alex Jones is in this book. So, you know, the Hillary Clinton's trying to steal my clitoris. That dude. Well, Jon Ronson went to Bohemian Grove with him. If you don't know what that is, look it up. He broke into Bohemian Grove with him. That's interesting in this book. Also, he gets chased by the Bilderberg group in this book. And like all those things, it makes it sound like Jon Ronson's a conspiracy theorist, but he's not. He's just like a light-hearted idiot that finds himself in the middle of it. And it's really, really good. Give it a read. So that's my favorite book to read, but my favorite thing to own is probably this. This is the Oxford Sherlock Holmes. This is a collection that came out in, I think, 1993. It is the full Sherlock Holmes collection, and it is decidedly the most expensive thing on my bookshelf. So it's the full Sherlock Holmes collection of stories, complete with expert annotations in it that makes the more inscrutable parts of the story easier to understand. This goes for around 100 to 300 pounds, so it is expensive, but it's complete and I like it and I'm keeping it. But by far the most interesting book I own is this one. It is unassuming, as you can see. It doesn't have its dust cover, but it's a book called My Sister and I by Dirk Van Der Heide. It's the autobiography of a 12-year-old boy from Holland. And it came out in 1941, and it chronicles the experience of Dirk during the Blitz in Holland. And in the story, Dirk talks about how Holland is being absolutely blitzed. His father has gone off to war. His mother got killed by a bombing at her workplace. There's just dead bodies strewn everywhere. Just your normal quotidian life has just been torn apart, and everything has basically gone to shit. So Dirk, his sister, and his uncle are forced to escape Holland in his uncle's American Buick to go to England. And then they get to England and they see the Blitz is happening there. And so finally they're forced to escape to America, the only place that they're likely to be safe. They do eventually make it to America safe. Thankfully, they make it safe. And then obviously the autobiography is published. And it immediately skyrockets to the top of the American nonfiction charts. But the issue is that Dirk Van Der Heide never existed. That's right, this is nothing more than British propaganda. This was fabricated by British intelligence so that it could do exactly what it was intended to do, which is to skyrocket in the American charts and to change the American political discourse away from American neutrality. It was to get the average American to go, oh my god, look at the horrific things that are happening all over the world. We should do something. And that's exactly what it did. This was the top of the charts in America. Everyone believed it to be true. And it wasn't. It was sheer rhubarb. And now, knowing that this was written by British intelligence, it becomes very obvious, because when they arrive in England, they start describing British people in this highfalutin way about how great and amazing and fun and loyal and loving and brave and caring English people are. And also, interestingly, in retrospect, it's an interesting allegory that they have going on, that it's the American Buick that saves them from Holland. It's the Americans that saved them from Holland. All of it is enmeshed in this story done really well, to be honest. Really, really well. There were only 52,000 copies of this book ever printed and produced, and I have one of them. I keep it on my bookshelf, and I like to every now and again just go over and pluck it from the shelf and thumb through the pages just to remind myself how gullible the Americans can be.